Well, one of the super chats said it already, but yeah, I don't really take the attitude of body count not mattering seriously because it's statistically proven that it inhibits your ability to pair bond with someone long term and therefore like not get divorced if you have a high body count or even any body count whatsoever before getting married. It exponentially increases with each person that you have sex with before marriage. So it does matter in very practical terms.
Okay, I have a question. For those who say that body count doesn't matter, have you ever met a girl who have a very high body count and you've never called her a whore, you never called her a slut, you never called her any other name? You're just like, go girl, get it, get all that slurp slurp.
Have I ever
I've
met
seen
a
girls
girl?
act like say that to their friend.
Yeah.
Walt Mosher super chatted $100. The answer to the carrying/fatigue question depends on her receptiveness, interest, and enthusiasm to his kissing, touching, manhandling overtures.
Well, no, I don't like to call girls sluts and whores. Like, I'm like all for women. Like, I'm not.
You don't
like,
have to say it. Don't you think it?
women.
But sometimes you never thought about that. You don't have to say it out of your mouth, but you've never thought that way about a woman who just loosely use her body like that.
No, I feel like I would be more likely to call someone that if they're like a homewrecker. But if you're just
but
like,
it doesn't matter. But you said
to-
homewrecker, right? That's still,
if you're single and the other person you're hooking up with is single, if you're being responsible and getting tested in between partners and just minding your business, I don't think it really matters. Your body, your choice.
No, I don't care about the situation. I'm like, have you ever said that about a girl? It doesn't matter if she was a homewrecker or not. Have you ever thought that about a girl who gone through and racked up that many bodies doing this? Have you thought that about a girl?
Doing what?
Racking up a whole bunch of bodies, whether that be through
Honestly,
home wrecking or not.
I don't pay attention to what other girls
care.
fuck
I didn't know. I asked
count.
you specifically. Have you thought or said anything about these girls?
Probably.
Period? Okay, so why wouldn't you think a man would?
I don't really care what they think, honestly.
Okay, well, if a man doesn't want to, if you feel that way about these girls, why would a man want that same reputation of having that girl with them too?
I just answered that question to like make you happy. I don't really like think of girls like that. Like, I don't be like, oh, that's slut.
So you said that to make me happy.
Well, because you wouldn't take my answer for an answer. So I'm like, yeah, let me just say
because it's not true. I mean,
I don't hold hate. I don't hold hate in my heart. Like,
you've never met a nasty girl during all your stuff. Never.
Yeah, of course, but I'm more likely to call her a bitch, to be honest.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. When I was back in high school, I did grow up in a very, conservative, traditional household. So, I was gonna say, I totally forgot. What was the question again?
I think you're gonna say that you want to.
It's about like saying things about other girls.
Yeah, that's right. I have judged people and thought about it and like, oh yes, she's a hoe. But now, like, with the job I do, I feel like that's judgmental. And as I've gotten older, I've just realized that you shouldn't judge people.
Okay, but this is from your mind, but from a man's mind. A man, how he looks into the world, how he steps out to the world. It is usually with respect and wanting leadership. Why would you listen to someone who has a woman who doesn't care or hold her own self-respect? It just makes sense from a guy's perspective. And everyone thinks college is wild. Military showed me a lot of that wildness shit too. If I thought this way about those girls, oh my God, why would anyone want a TA-50 girl for a wife? Like, this is a girl who literally would go around collecting gear from the military as a freaking souvenir. Why would any guy want to marry her?
I feel like if you're going around thinking these girls are sluts and whores, I think you need to love yourself more and just like focus on yourself.
But that's what they're doing. If these girls are going around collecting souvenirs as like a notch on their belt, why would any man want to, carry that on as far as like to show, oh my God, I got the baddest bitch. She done sucked this many Do you think that's something to be proud of?
I mean, cucks do exist. Men love sluts. Like, you're kind of like, it's going in one ear, out the other. Because, like, I don't have
They love them, but they ain't gonna marry
like,
them. Ludacris has told us this so many times, all right? They love the hoes, but they won't marry them. They will not give
Wait, did you say
that.
Ludacris?
Yes.
Everyone
Oh,
deserves.
shit.
Everyone deserves.
They will not give you. They say it specifically. Love the hoes. We love you guys, but they won't marry you. They won't give you that picket fence. And the ones that do, come on, you're only with them for the money. You're not with them for their.
Everyone deserves love, and everyone makes mistakes. And I feel like, well, if you
Everyone
don't want to
deserves love?
most people, most
Everybody?
people, if you're not like a horrible person, not going around like killing people or like
What
being a
about
really bad
Kim
person.
Jong-un,
I don't know.
the
I don't
North
know him
Korean
personally.
What about
dictator?
Hitler?
No.
Whoa.
Well, I'm in the industry, and I've been in the industry for a few years now, and a lot of the successful
about
porn
Hitler?
stars, a lot of the successful porn stars are married. They have kids, and like it doesn't.
You can be successful
Wait.
at one.
Yo.
Porn or having a marriage and family. You can't have both.
Okay,
Yes, you can. I know people who
You can't have both successfully.
How are you
It's
gonna
not
say you're
possible.
Virgin Mary over here? Like I know.
You don't think there's a reputation?
You don't know what it's like to be married and have children.
No, but I know what it's like to be in the industry, like, and not have a problem.
And do you
with,
think
like,
a lot of
finding
people
guys.
listen to those people from that industry as far as like where to get marriage advice from?
Absolutely shouldn't.
No, or family advice from how to raise
Well,
kids?
they're not watching us for that reason.
Okay, if you think that's the normal, let's get our
It's not
advice.
normal, but it's like we're not having a hard time.
It's not okay. This is not to
finding
shame.
love.
This is not really to shame. It's more like accepting accountability and your role and the outcomes of what you will possibly get because you did certain things. I don't know why that is so hard to.
Well, maybe
you know.
some guys like wouldn't want to date a woman who's in the military. You could say that about
Yeah,
anything.
I know that. There's a lot of guys I don't date because they haven't been to the military
Exactly, and
because
that's how
they're
I
like
feel.
pussies. But I'm like, when it comes to a woman and a man, what a man values when he walks outside the door has nothing to do with, oh my God, I don't know what the fuck women think about when they step outside the house. But I know when it comes to a man, it has to do with respect and people look up to them. And if they can, if they are someone they can take direction from and learn from, no one's going to look at a man who doesn't have a wife that he cannot control, a wife who just fucking sleeps around. It just doesn't happen unless you are in an industry where that happens and that's considered normal. But that is not the normal. You can't bring your industry into the outside world and think that everyone's going to live like that and be okay with that. It's just asinine to think that way. It really is.
I think what really pisses people off is that you're expecting society to change and become more enlightened to accept your lifestyle and modern values, but no one has to adapt to your lifestyle.
No, I'm not trying to change anyone. If I'm going to date someone, I'm not going to change myself or change them. They're going to accept me and I'm going to accept them, and that's going to be it. And it's like, I don't get why that's so hard to understand.
Not who you date, but like when we brought up, if you had kids who got bullied because of
the
you
imaginary
having porn
kid.
on the internet, like you're expecting society to change its views on sex work when like
Well, I mean, I don't think bullying is
that doesn't
right,
really take
like, no matter
accountability
what.
for
It's
your
more
actions.
Like trying to change society to like not
It's
bully.
not bullying though. It's just accepting that you're going to live with certain consequences, whether or not you like how other people perceive you. That's just going to be it. I have to be perceived the way that I am, and I just have to live with that.
I think you're making a lot of
Kojak
like
said if I say hi to him, he'll donate $100. Hi, Kojak. I remember you from my lives.
I think
That
you're
is a
making a
legally
lot of,
binding
like-
contract, by the way.
you're making a lot of should and shouldn't statements about society, but you don't want society to make should and shouldn't statements about your actions. That's
I feel
hypocritical.
like I wouldn't have made it this long in the industry if I cared what people think. So like, I
but
just like
you
really
just
don't
said
care.
you think that society shouldn't
you're right
you
in
know,
your industry. You're right.
frown upon sex work to the point where if you had kids, they'd be bullied because of your history. You do think that society should change.
Do you want kids, by the way?
I don't know. If I met someone like really amazing, sure, and if they wanted them, but
The whole like kids bullying thing, like kids are gonna get bullied inevitably. Like you could say, like kids are gonna get bullied
Sure.
because of your genetics. Like that
Yeah,
you're
but-
passing
Is
on.
doing
like-
porn the same thing
No,
as
but
like
like if
your
we're thinking about like
race or-
protecting our kids from getting bullied, like, oh, if I have like a weird nose and I have a kid, then it might have a weird nose. Like, at
that's
that
not a
point, you're
choice
like,
though. Doing porn is
Yeah,
a choice.
no, I see
Well,
what you mean,
the difference there is, I mean, kids are fucking brutal, especially like 13-year-old boys.
And they
They're
should
gonna be
be.
like,
This is the thing.
Oh.
These anti-bullying campaigns need
Oh.
to stop.
oh, you
This
have
has done nothing but damage to society.
all right.
So
we
it's
ha-
okay to make people feel like shit about themselves and bully them and say, "Oh, you're ugly. Oh, you're this."
Mary is.
I don't think
I'm
Pro
literally
bullying.
right. I'm literally right.
I'm pro shame.
Okay.
But what if it's not their
There's
fault?
some
Like,
things
what
that
if
should be
someone
shamed.
has like really
This
bad
is how
skin
kids
or-
learn to
I don't know.
socialize.
Yeah.
This is how society is always formed.
I feel like Mary was bullied as a child.
but we can't like
Everyone's
protect all
bullied.
kids
Oh,
from
the
getting
color-
bullied.
Literally
Nicoletta
everyone
is-
was bullied and has been a bully.
Yeah.
Some more than others.
Are you? It was Mary bullied. You think?
I don't know.
I've
I'm
been
getting
both.
like a. She gives me like the vibes of
Ma-
like I
Mary,
was bullied
you-
as a child, so
you
now
bullied?
I want to bully people. Like,
You
am
bullied
I
people?
bullied people. I was also bullied. It's a thing that a
It's
lot of
hard.
kids do.
You're never
It's
gonna
not
get.
good.
And you don't
It's
need to
something
act
that
holier than
happens,
thou
but I
about
definitely
it.
think it shouldn't
Kids
be-
are always going to
It shouldn't
bully
be
each other.
normalized.
I feel
even
like
though it
bullying
is
has been
normal.
around
I do think
forever.
bullying is
You
wrong,
can't get rid
regardless,
of
you know?
it. It helps, like,
And if you care so much about what
Kids
men
need to be
think,
bullied so they don't
it's
end up being furries
unattractive.
when they grow up.
What the? Fuck?
Okay.
Wait, yo, Rachel, confirm or deny?
oh god,
Were you like a vicious bully?
I was bullied.
Come on.
Dead
Okay,
ass.
was Brecky the bully?
No.
Brecky the bully.
No.
That was your nickname.
I was a little bit feisty when I was younger.
It was Lauren, wasn't it? Major bully.
I don't
I might
bully
take
people.
my
I
Major
bags
bully.
and do my
Okay,
People
so
pleaser.
the difference is though, to Mary's point, when it comes to bullying, you did say yes, bullying happens regardless. However, if you've engaged in sex work, I was saying 13-year-old kids, they're fucking teen boys are fucking brutal, and they don't. I feel like when you're a young kid, you don't quite have developed the sense of empathy that you will develop as you become an adult. Not to say it's impossible, however. They're gonna be like, "Yo, I saw your mom fucking on the internet. I saw her
There's
sucking some
definitely
dude's
a higher
dick."
risk for more bullying because of that. So you just got to be okay with the consequences with it.
Yeah, but
But the
like,
kids didn't consent to the consequences of your actions.
But they're her kids.
Right.
So
but like,
guess you-
so
it's
dot,
her
dot,
kids.
dot.
I think you guys are judging them very strongly on the basis they're making
On
their
the basis
life
of their choices. The
yeah,
things that you should
their
judge
choices,
people on.
not
Oh,
yours.
okay.
And I understand your beliefs and how you feel, but you know,
There we
honestly,
go.
sitting here listening to you guys kind
Oh.
of degrade them, they understand what industry they're in.
degrade
They
themselves
understand
with their
what
line of
they're
work.
doing. But honestly, I don't think they see it that way, and that's totally fine.
And that's how the rest of the world will see
But
it
who
their
cares what
way.
the rest of the world
Okay, then
thinks?
you can't get mad if they bully your kid.
I'm
You can't get
I'm not
mad.
mad. I didn't say anything about
All
being
you
mad.
guys
Bully my
are,
kid, I'll
you're-
bully them
you're
back.
getting-
I'll be like, don't bully my kid.
At least
you know?
she's willing to accept. She understands. But like to sit here and think that no one's going to bully
I didn't
your
say that.
kids, think that you're not going to reap any repercussions from
Of
your
course,
actions.
there are going to be tons.
Okay, then you just gotta accept it. If they call you
Yeah.
a harlot, they call you a harlot. You can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
I don't
Yeah,
think
so I
anyone's
care.
ever said anything about not accepting that.
But
Yeah, I don't
you,
think
what about your
so.
kids?
I don't think anyone
but
said
when it
that.
comes to your
Fuck
kid,
them
you're gonna
kids.
say. When it comes to your kid, you're gonna say, "Oh, don't bully my kid. Don't bully my kid. Don't bully my kid." You can't sit here and say that you can't bully my kid based off of your actions. Your actions are literally on the internet for the whole world to see. You're setting your kid up for failure.
Everyone's gonna want to have sleepover at our house. That's what
The
I'm saying.
fuck?
Ew, they don't want to get groomed.
What the? Ooh, spicy. Wait, so Mary, is your position that you want to bring back slut shaming? Is that your position?
Yeah. It never went away. It never went away.
Your response to Mary being a proponent of slut shaming, Brecky?
I don't support that.
I don't
No.
think you should be mean to anyone. I think you should mind.
Man, fuck that. Because y'all don't understand. When you get to my age and you see how people have been such a slut and such a whore, you're gonna wonder why you can't find anybody.
Dragonstone
You'll
1001 super chatted $100. Yes, it's their choices, actions/decisions, but you don't want to suffer the consequences, which is delusional.
Yo, Dragon's Talon, thank you, man.
I feel like you sound very jaded.
No, it's the truth. You guys are literally fucking up all the other women that come behind you. You don't think this is true? You don't think this is true? Back in the day when there's BET girls, black girls who just shaking their ass, you know how like embarrassing it is for guys to come up to you and ask if you can shake your ass like this because of all these fucking stereotypes? They still do that when I'm at my age. You don't think it's real? You guys are literally you're making stereotypes for all women. And no one's putting you in your place like women back in the day used to.
And that's why we shouldn't judge based on, because everyone's their own person. So we can't
back in the day, we
people-
weren't having this problem. You saw people get married
Back
more.
I think that-
it's obviously more common now because of social media and OnlyFans and all of this. But people were like hoes in the 1800s.
And you know
too,
what's more
you know,
common
so-
too? Women not getting married. Women becoming more single mothers too. That's common as well.
Well, I mean,
I don't think any of us are single mothers here.
Oh my God. Really stop thinking about you and just in general. In general, okay?
Well, I'm talking about right here, right now.
In general, when it just comes to women and their future prospects, all right? I'm telling you this from just personal experience, from what other black girls have done. They've made it so that anytime I go on, do you even date black girls? Do you even date white guys? Do you date Asian? Who the fuck thinks like that? When I look at a guy, I'm like, you know, I like you. I think you're attractive. The last thing I want some guy to think is that, hey, oh, I wonder if this black girl does it like this or this girl does it like that, or is she going to take me for all my money? That's what you guys don't understand.
That's
That is
racist.
actually
That's
happen,
literally
though.
racist of them to do that.
yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's racist or not. That is just what's happening out there. Do you guys have any
So
guy
what should
friends?
we do about it? What
I'm
should
gonna
we
still
do
be a
about it?
slut. Sorry.
Keep
Like, what?
the whole saying about, you know, be a lady in the street and a freak in the bed. Y'all ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Then why don't you guys act that way?
Because we don't want to. We just want to be sluts.
So now,
That's a
so when you get
weird
called out for
principle,
being a
in my
slut out in
opinion.
public, do you care about the consequences that come with that?
No.
Do you even want to change that?
I'm going to be
about the
driving
future?
away in my Mercedes, like, bye.
Okay, so what about your daughters, your future daughters, if you have any? Do you want them being looked at how you guys are looking at yourselves right now?
Obviously, I don't condone it, but like I definitely say like whatever you're comfortable with, and I say like, look, if your kid's bullying my kid because of what I did online, I feel like that's screwed
Maybe
up.
you should set an example so that she wouldn't get bullied.
Even
Well,
if
why
I
is
set an
it that-
example, it's people are still gonna get bullied.
So you think that spreading your legs is something to be proud of? Y'all
But,
really
like,
think that?
as women, why should our value be like our kids? Like, I don't
I
plan
didn't
on
say all
having
that.
kids. I don't think all women.
Well, our value as women is innately our ability to create and sustain life.
As long as you're not harming anyone, live your life. As long as you're
Hold
not
on,
hurting
guys.
anyone.
Hold on.